Here's a concise explanation of the books and general knowledge GK data from the provided content, explained in a simple and easy to memorize way. I've split it into book summary and GK info for quick recall. Book Summary Part 1 1. Political Geography by Adhikari S., 2002, explains the spatial distribution of political phenomena like borders, regions, and power struggles globally. Focus: political conflicts, geopolitics, and nation-states. 2. Geography vs. Geopolitics by Bowman L., 1932, discusses how geographical elements influence geopolitics and decision-making in global politics. Focus: world wars and territorial conflicts. 3. Modern Political Geography by Richard Muir, 1979, breaks down modern political geography, covering political systems, economies, and cultural impacts. Focus: politics in urbanization and globalization. 4. Geography and World Politics by Carlson L., 1962, analyzes the role of geography in shaping international relations and policy decisions. Focus: Cold War political strategies. Book Summary Part 2. A Unified Field Theory of Political Geography by Stephen B. Jones, 1954, connects political geography with economics, social structures, and governance. Focus: Theory on political unity across regions. 6. The Nature of Frontiers and Boundaries by Christoph, K.D., 1959, explores how natural and man-made boundaries shape nations and their identities. Focus: Boundary conflicts and resolutions. 7. Modern Political Science by Buya Abdul Odud, 2000, an overview of contemporary political systems covering elections, governance, and policies. Focus: South Asian politics and democratic evolution. 8. Geopolitics of Bangladesh by Mohammed Abdur Rab, 1999, examines the role of geography in shaping Bangladesh's political and economic destiny. Focus: river systems, borders, and trade routes. Key GK facts: Middle East and South Asia. Middle East data overview. Iraq, Baghdad. Population 37 men, literacy 85%, GDP per capita $15,500. Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Population 28 men, GDP $53,600. Turkey, Ankara. Population 79 men, GDP $20,400. Iran. Population 82 men, GDP $17,300. UAE, population 6M, GDP $70,200. Quick tip to memorize. Think of Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar as oil-rich nations with high GDP. Iraq and Syria are war-affected nations with moderate literacy and GDP. South Asia data overview. India, New Delhi, population 1.25B, literacy 71%, GDP $6,200. Bangladesh, population 168 Memon, literacy 61%, GDP $3,600. Sri Lanka, Colombo, population 22 Mem, literacy 93%, GDP $10,600. Pakistan, Islamabad, population 199 M, literacy 58%, GDP $5,000. Nepal, Kathmandu, population 31 M, literacy 64%, GDP $2,500. Quick tip to memorize. India is the largest in population. Maldives is the smallest, 298 square kilometers. Sri Lanka has the highest literacy in South Asia. Quick GK practice, Q style. 1. What is the smallest country in South Asia? Answer: Maldives. 2. Which Middle Eastern country has the highest GDP per capita? Answer: UAE, $70,200. 3. Which South Asian country has the highest literacy rate? Answer: Sri Lanka, 93%. 4. Name a book discussing global political boundaries. Answer: The Nature of Frontiers and Boundaries by Christoph K.D. 5. Which book discusses geopolitics in Bangladesh? Answer: Geopolitics of Bangladesh by Mohammed Abdur Rab. Memorization tip. Group similar countries: oil-rich Middle East countries versus densely populated South Asian countries. Link books to topics. Political theories equals Stephen B. Jones. Boundaries equals Christoph K.D. Geopolitics of Bangladesh equals Mohammed Abdur Rab. Use mnemonics. For South Asia GDP, remember BITBIS. B Bangladesh equals $3,600. India equals $6,200. Pakistan equals $5,000. Sri Lanka equals $10,600. Let me know if you'd like more summaries or specific details. Sri Lanka's economic crisis, despite its higher literacy rate and better GDP per capita compared to Bangladesh or India, is due to a combination of poor economic management, over-reliance on certain sectors, and external shocks. Here's why. Here's one. Heavy external debt. Sri Lanka borrowed heavily from international markets and nations like China and India for infrastructure projects, some of which had low returns. Debt to GDP ratio soared beyond sustainable levels. Payments on foreign debt drained the country's reserves, leaving little for essential imports. Example, the Hambantota port project, funded by Chinese loans, failed to generate expected revenue, leading to a debt-for-equity swap where Sri Lanka leased the port to China. 2. Economic mismanagement. Sri Lanka's government made several policy mistakes. Tax cuts. In 2019, drastic tax reductions reduced government revenue, leading to a fiscal crisis. Forex mismanagement. The central bank tried to artificially fix exchange rates, worsening dollar shortages. Organic farming push. In 2021, a sudden ban on chemical fertilizers disrupted agriculture, cutting tea and rice production, two of the country's economic staples. 3. Tourism collapse. Tourism, a key contributor to Sri Lanka's economy, suffered due to 2019 Easter bombings. Tourist arrivals plummeted after the attacks. COVID-19 pandemic. Tourism completely froze, leading to significant foreign exchange losses. 4. Over-reliance on imports. Sri Lanka depended heavily on imports for essentials like food, fuel, and medicines. With foreign reserves depleted, the country couldn't afford these imports, leading to shortages and inflation. 5. Global economic shocks. Ukraine war. Increased fuel and food prices globally, worsening Sri Lanka's import costs. COVID-19 aftermath. Disrupted global supply chains, further impacting the economy. Comparison to Bangladesh and India. Bangladesh focused on export-oriented industries like textiles, earning steady foreign exchange. Additionally, Bangladesh has diversified its borrowing sources and maintained better debt management. India has a much larger and diversified economy, allowing it to absorb shocks more effectively. Its strong domestic market and tech industry generate significant revenues. Why literacy and GDP per capita weren't enough. While high literacy and GDP per capita indicate human development and relative wealth, they don't guarantee economic stability. Sri Lanka's GDP per capita benefited from a smaller population, but the underlying economy was not diversified or resilient. High literacy did not translate into prudent policymaking or economic reforms. Lesson. Sri Lanka's case shows that 1. Diversified economies are more resilient. 2. Debt management is critical to long-term stability. 3. Policy decisions must align with a country's economic realities. Would you like a deeper breakdown of any aspect?